Hello traders, and thanks for tuning in to this week's market outlook from Exness. In this video we're going to be looking at a potential idea for a trade for this week. But before that, let's look back at the performance of last week's idea. Last week the idea from Stanislav Bernikov, trading specialist, was a potential buy for gold from the area of around 1,882, with the target potentially around 1,910. That idea was fully accurate, with the movement having completed within the last couple of days. Now moving on to this week's idea. I'm Michael Stark, Financial Content Manager, and joining me to give the idea for this week is Stanislav Bernikov, once again, Trading Specialist. Thanks very much, Stan, for being here.
Hello Michael, thank you for having me today.
What's the idea then, Stan, for a trade for this week, you think?
I'm thinking of a potential short for S&P 500 index, which is CFD for S&P 500 in Exness. So it's located, I think, at the top of the range, above the 200-day moving average. Technically, that's a fragile territory, and we have already something like 7 days move up. Statistically, that's very close to the top, in case we don't have any follow-through to the upside, which I don't see any drivers to have it.
And what do you think are some of the key narratives for this potential sell for S&P 500? Are we looking at monetary policy or inflation or something else more, do you think?
Well, as for American inflation, we had it previous week. This week it's going to be economic forum in Davos, speeches of politicians and central bankers, so that might trigger something. I mean, if they say something unusual, some sell-off might be triggered. There are also a bunch of other events, such as, for example, inflation rate for the Eurozone and decision of Bank of Japan. But most importantly, I think it's going to be earnings reports for large financial companies, such as Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, and other ones. They are important for the stock market because we know that stocks are growing ahead of earnings, and then we might see actually some profit taking. Another point is the volatility, or VIX volatility level, which is known as a level of fear. It's at the bottom actually, so 18, it's very low level, and actually that's a year-to-year low. Considering the recession and the bear market, which we see, that might be actually the bottom for volatility and the potential top for the price of S&P 500 and Nasdaq.
So in summary, the idea for this week's trade is a potential sell for the S&P 500, since it seems to be maybe precarious above the 200 SMA after several consecutive days of gains. And the main narratives that are driving that is firstly narrative of recession, as in many other markets, but also critically the new low reached in the VIX, with the potential for a correction upward, the increase of volatility. This week traders are looking primarily at the economic forum in Davos, and especially speeches by central bankers there for any kind of interesting tidbits, and also the earnings reports from major financial companies in the USA, which might strongly affect trading for the S&P 500. So thanks very much, Stan, for being here and give us the idea and the background behind it for this week.
Thank you for having me. Have a good trading week, everyone.
And I would remind everybody watching and listening, this is just an idea, it's not a signal, the result is not guaranteed, trading is risky, please make sure always to manage your risk and manage your money when trading.